Dear viewers, continuing our space series where we covered Mars missions in the first two episodes, the link of which is given below, now we will study about the Sun and the various missions to the Sun. The episode on Sun will be in two parts, where in part 1 we will cover concepts related to Sun, and in part 2 we will look into various missions that have been sent to study Sun and some upcoming missions. Let's begin with a brief introduction about Sun. The Sun is a star and is the closest one to Earth. It is also the center of a solar system. It is 4.6 billion years old and has a diameter of 1.39 million kilometers. The temperature of the core of the Sun is estimated to be more than 15 million Kelvin due to continuous thermal nuclear reactions, while the surface temperature being 6000 Kelvin. The Sun accounts for about 99.8% of the total mass of a solar system, making it the largest object within a solar system. However, Sun still isn't as large as other types of stars and is classified as a yellow dwarf star. It is a huge ball of burning gases and made up of nearly 73.4% hydrogen and 25% helium. The Sun rotates in the counterclockwise direction if we consider the view from a long way above the north pole of the Earth. The Sun shows the phenomena of differential rotation, that is, at the equator the surface rotates in 25.4 days and near the poles it rotates in 36 days. This strange phenomena occurs because outer surface is not solid and the core is solid. The Sun's magnetic field is very strong, which is also known as heliosphere, extends well beyond Pluto and spreads throughout the solar system via the solar wind. The Sun is nearly at its midlife. Its hydrogen fuel can sustain for more than 5 billion years. After that, it will undergo extreme changes which will result in the total destruction of Earth. Reason being, without the Sun's heat and light, the Earth would be a lifeless ball of ice-coated rock. The Sun warms our seas, stirs our atmosphere, generates our weather pattern, and gives energy to the growing green plants that provide the food and oxygen for life on Earth. Looking at the Sun's importance in our life, it is not shocking that Sun is personified in many mythologies, such as Greek called it Helios, ancient Indians call it Surya, Romans call it Sol. Now we will look into Sun's internal structure. It consists of core, radiative zone, and convective zone. The core is the center of the Sun and the hottest region where energy is generated via thermonuclear reactions, creating extreme temperatures deep within the Sun's core. In the radiative zone, energy moves slowly outward, taking more than 170,000 years to radiate through this layer of the Sun, carried by photons as thermal radiation. And finally, in the convection zone, energy continues to move toward the surface through convection currents of the heated and cooled gas. These thermonuclear reactions in the Sun give rise to Sun's atmosphere, which is basically the outer layer of the Sun. There are mainly three layers that make up the atmosphere: photosphere, chromosphere, and corona. If we talk about the photosphere, it is the bright outer layer of the Sun that emits most of the radiation. It has a thickness of about 500 kilometers. The temperature in the photosphere varies between 6200 and 3700 degrees Celsius. Phenomena such as sunspot occur in the photosphere. The second layer, chromosphere, lies just above the photosphere. The temperature in the chromosphere varies between 3700 and 7700 degrees Celsius. It plays a role in conducting heat from the interior of the Sun to its outermost layer. Now coming to the outermost layer of the Sun, that is corona. The temperature in the corona is 500,000 degrees Celsius or more, up to a few million Celsius. The phenomena associated with corona are coronal mass ejection, solar flares, and solar wind. Our sun is not without mysteries. One such mystery is associated with corona. For instance, corona is up to 300 times hotter than the photosphere despite being farther from the solar core has remained a long-term mystery. Recent research suggests that tiny explosion known as nanoflare may help push the temperature up by providing sporadic bursts reaching up to 10 million. The explosions are called nanoflares because they have 1/1000th the energy of regular flare. Millions of them are going off every second across the sun and collectively they heat the corona. It is also believed that giant super tornadoes may also play a role in heating the sun's outer layer. These solar twisters are a combination of hot flowing gas and tangled magnetic field lines ultimately driven by nuclear reaction in the solar core. Based on the detected events, there are at least 11,000 swirls present on the sun at all times. Now we will look into some of the phenomena that are associated with the sun. First is sunspot. It is a dark patch on the surface of the sun. They appear as dark areas because they are about 500 to 1500 degrees Celsius cooler than the surrounding chromosphere. The individual sunspot has a lifetime ranging from a few days to a few months. Each spot has a black center or umbra and a lighter region or penumbra surrounding it. They are formed in areas where magnetic fields are particularly strong. These magnetic fields are so strong that they keep some of the heat within the sun from reaching the surface. It has been suggested that the sun is 1% cooler when it has no sunspot and that this variation in solar radiation might affect the climates of the earth. Now we will study about solar winds. It is the flow of energized, charged particles at a very high speed flowing outward from the sun. The speed is as high as 900 km per second at a temperature equal to 1 million degrees Celsius. It is made up of plasma, which is a collection of charged particles and mostly contains electrons, protons, and alpha particles. Solar magnetic field is embedded in the plasma and flows outward with the solar wind. On Earth, the phenomena of aurora happens due to the magnetic field lines of the Earth and solar winds. The charge carrying particles enter the atmosphere which cause the ionization and excitation of atmosphere constituents and consequently optical emissions. In the end, we can say that the solar wind is responsible for the overall shape of Earth's magnetosphere. Third such phenomena is solar flares. Solar flares are produced on the sun's surface when magnetic energy that has built up in the solar atmosphere is suddenly released. They are magnetic storms which appear to be very bright spots with a gaseous surface eruption. It emits huge bursts of electromagnetic radiation including X-rays, ultraviolet radiation, visible light, and radio waves. The energy emitted by a solar flare is more than 1,000,000 times greater than the energy from a volcanic explosion on Earth. If a solar flare is very intense, the radiation it releases can interfere with the radio communications here on Earth. Also, as solar flares are pushed through the corona, they heat its gas to anywhere from 10 to 20 million degrees Celsius. Coming to the fourth phenomena, that is solar prominence. It is an arc of gas that erupts from the surface of the sun. Prominences can loop hundreds of thousands of miles into space. Prominences are held above the sun's surface by strong magnetic fields and can last for many months. At some time in their existence, most prominences will erupt, spewing enormous amounts of solar material into space. Scientists are still researching how and why prominences are formed. And lastly, coronal mass ejection. The outer solar atmosphere, the corona, is structured by strong magnetic fields. When these magnetic fields are above sunspot groups, the confined solar atmosphere can suddenly and violently release bubbles of gas and magnetic fields called coronal mass ejections. It can result in fluctuations of electrical currents in space and energize electrons and protons trapped in Earth's varying magnetic field. That's all for today. Stay tuned for the next video. Stay home, stay safe.